A special episode today of a webinar on how to build a thriving coaching business in 2025 without burnout. I'm gonna start sharing my screen here, and this is going to also be recorded for anyone who can't make it today to share afterwards. And we have a special guest as well join us later half of the podcast. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Okay. All right. So we're talking about a topic that's very near and dear to my heart: burnout and how to avoid it. So I'm Diego Salinas. My background is in neuroscience, so I'm going to talk about it from a neuroscience perspective. I also been a physician and experienced burnout there as well. Um, I then became a national board certified health and wellness coach, and I'm really passionate about coaching, both education and coaching. I still teach at Duke University, and now I'm the co-founder of Viably, helping coaches have the tools they need to thrive, and also do what we can to take care of ourselves and be more efficient in our work. Okay. So I spent the last year talking to thousands of coaches. And I want to share a lot of what I've learned, both from a one-on-one perspective and also how this ties into what we know, studies about burnout and those who take care of others, how to take care of ourselves. So if you want to throw in the chat here, what factors do you feel contribute to burnout? Go ahead and name them. We'll try to get this a little more interactive. But think about also each one's burnout is different. So not only what factors contribute to it, but what does it feel to be burnt out for you? Knowing those signs and symptoms are really important in helping minimize that in the future. Okay, I'm looking at the chat here. So let's see. Not enough pay, too much work, boredom. So yes, it's boredom burnout. Exactly. So about being working too hard, but not being to your potential. Bridges has poor boundaries. Compassion fatigue can lead to burnout. Yes. Physical health elements. Yeah. Right. All great things. So burnout has a wide range of causes and how these things come together. It could be from being overworked, or being underworked. I hear a lot of not setting boundaries and not taking care of ourselves, and also managing all our things in our life, not only professional life but also our personal life as well. So thank you for in the chat. Keep on monitoring that throughout the call today. Admin tasks is Maya. Yes, yes, very good call. Right. So all important factors, and we're going to try to summarize how to approach this and how we can use tools to help minimize this. Because the reality about burnout is that it's not there's no one size solution because there's no one version of burnout. So just like with our clients, they have individual journeys, so will different coaches. And so we're going to say, where do we start looking to prevent things or start reversing things? The most common place, but each one's going to be a little bit different, as everyone's saying in the chat here. All right, next slide here. So coach burnout is real, and some factors that contribute to this, besides what was mentioned in the chat, is that we being caregivers or people who are in caregiving roles tend to experience even more burnout, right? Because the same factors that draw us to the profession, that draw us to want to care and give to others, could lead to that overextension, like giving from that empty cup. So I think it's important to recognize it's not a fault of ours for being burnt out or a character flaw or a sign of weakness. But I think particularly for us, it's a some of the same mechanisms that make us amazing providers. If they're not checked, don't have the right boundaries, as Bridget says, could contribute to burnout. It's a topic that I think also is very insidious, causes a lot of withdrawal, shame, and avoidance. And so I want to create a space where coaches can feel they can talk about this. And I will say to anyone listening today, if you're feeling that way right now, or felt that way in the past, I want you to know you're not alone, and that I don't want to pretend that one lecture is going to solve everything. But hopefully, it's give you hope and some road forward to take that next step to make a difference. You have the support of Viably, the coaches here. My email is available. Email me directly. I I want to support you because I know how hard it can be, and it can feel very isolating and alienating. And I want to change some of that stigma. It's okay. So if you're on camera today, or you can put something in the chat instead. Uh, if you're considering on camera, instead of putting a finger down, if you agree with this, say I agree, or yes, or put a Y. This is resonates with you. Okay. So, which one of you, or how many of us, wish more people could understand what coaching is and why it's so amazing? How many are tired of having the same conversation of what is coaching, or trying to convince someone of the value here? Okay, I'm going to continue on, but keep in mind in your head some of these factors and how these can lead to your emotional depletion. How about if you feel like you can prioritize other people's well-being over yours, or have in the past? I know it's definitely certainly something that I constantly struggle with, or want to work on. How about, I've heard from a lot of coaches, you feel like I'm doing this all alone. I'm longing for a community. I think here's the reality that I've heard this a lot, being a solo coach can be very lonely, right? And my response is, just because you're a solopreneur doesn't mean you have to be by yourself or do it all alone. And community, as we'll see, is really protective for burnout and increasing resiliency. Two more here. Put a finger down if you find an administrative task involving with managing a private practice overwhelming and tedious. I see some people earlier in the chat mentioned admin tasks as some of the causes of burnout, and we'll definitely talk about that. Okay, last one. You would love to coach in your own private practice, but feel overwhelmed about getting started and maintaining it. I know I definitely something near dear to my heart, which is why Alice Passion has gone to this company. So sometimes here's a reality for all us coaches here. I hear from a lot of coaches, I love coaching, but I really not good at tech or don't want to do the marketing. You know, the reality is none of us got into coaching because we love tech or marketing. Yet these are can be barriers to us getting supporting others, and we want to make a difference so that we can spend as little energy as we need doing stuff we don't like, and spend more time providing service for others. I think I also want to normalize that every job we have might have some parts that we don't enjoy, but how we minimize those and maximize those things that are fulfilling. I think it's important to not have a black and white, all or none view, but how to have balance or harmony in these things. Okay. So let's talk a little about the neuroscience of burnout. Like I said, I don't want to pretend that with one lecture or one webinar, we can solve everyone's problems. This is such a unique journey we all take, or we all might take, and really want to say, what can we learn from the science here? So burnout is a nervous system response. It's not a sign of personal weakness. Very common that in states of feeling burnt out, you might feel insecure. People lead to a lot of avoidance. What's wrong with me? Why can't I handle it? How come my colleagues can? A lot of this negative self-talk can appear. It is a sign instead of an overexhausted nervous system and constant chronic stress that's not managed. When burnout happens, we can lose connection, autonomy, and energy. You can feel like every day is going through molasses, you know, that people maybe reach out to you, but you don't feel like you want to reach back out, right? And there's a feeling of lack of control of what's going on, or lack of agency to your surroundings or your situation. Like I mentioned, it's really complex. Everyone has their own path to achieve and maintain harmony. And just like our clients do, right? We're gonna look at what's common. Right? We have things that fulfill us, things that drain us. Where do we start looking to find our own version of achieving resiliency or minimizing this burnout? The other thing like I mentioned earlier, is that us coaches or other healthcare providers or people in giving industries, the good thing is we do have the skill set to care. It's already innate in us, but often it's directed outward. So our job is to learn how to turn that skill set and turn it inward. We already know how to care. We just have to adapt it to caring more towards us. Okay. Now, well, let's quote here. When coaches are constantly operating under stress, they lose clarity and presence that coaching demands. Have you ever been in a session where here's the reality: we have to take care of ourselves in order to hold that space for others. As much as we try, sometimes when life is in the way, if we're not fully present, it's going to be hard to really have that therapeutic alliance or really be the agent of change that we can to support our client work. So if it helps, at least help me out. It was that I realized if I want to really serve others the best, it has to start with serving myself first. I think many of us have gone through times where we've um, shortchanged that, but it's not sustainable, right? So for many coaches, I think the mindset of saying, okay, in order to serve others, step one, make sure to take care of myself. That could be the bridge of the mental change has to happen in order for us to start prioritizing our own well-being, using something that already drives us um, to make a new behavior change, a new direction. And like I said, I don't want to pretend to solve it all in one day, but if you have to start somewhere, connection is where to start. Connection is where well being lives. Connection and community are one of the biggest ties to longevity. So, connection is neuroprotective. Our brain is wired for connection and co regulation. It's how we evolve, it's how we develop society. You cannot take the human experience and not talk about social connection. It's a very powerful tool, and sometimes this tool can, for either being too busy, too stressed, our self isolation, um, not be engaged. And the reality is, nothing replaces human connection. Not AI, not going physical activity. Right? There are other parts that we might do for our well being, but human connection is central. So start off virtually, but also look at your whole community, reaching out to friends and family. If you have no one to reach out to, how to search for someone. Right. But isolation, disconnection, in the sense of going alone can increase that feeling and likelihood of burnout. Think about people who go through things together, like in the army or in a healthcare setting, residency class. There's resiliency by doing it together that you have, right? The support, the camaraderie from someone else. People who run marathons, they run faster when they're in groups than by themselves, right? So if you're in an isolated state, that's going to more likely contribute to that. So find ways of finding connections through your work, even if you're a solopreneur. So building some support, like coaching community or operation support is essential for resilience. And boy, I'm monitoring the chat. So if anyone's any ideas, please put the chat in here. Coaching community, we're already a coaching community. We can give each other ideas and support throughout this time together. Okay, so another factor that we know goes into this is autonomy, which is stress. So having control over one's time and choices activates the brain's reward system that reduces cortisol output. So cortisol being the stress hormone. So coaches who reclaim time and simplify operations experience more calm, clarity, and fulfillment. If you think about stepping back, it could be really intuitive, right? When you feel you're in control of your environment, you have agency, there's more well-being, right? Lack of control, lack of agency leads to learned helplessness, which we know is a model for feeling depressed or some of those negative symptoms that go with burnout. Right? So we work a lot to help our clients um, feel agency and control of their system, over their life, right? And the more us as providers, we can have control over our time, how we spend our energy, the more we'll feel a sense of well-being and reduce that stress response from having a lack of control. Additionally, this also gives us more time to then focus on those things that will restore us and will give us that sense of connection. So we talk about coaching for a lot of our clients, the importance of purpose, fulfillment. We ask them what are their values. Right? Coaching starts with exploration of those deep values that drives everything. The well-being is how close can you align with your vision and values. So this is kind of an example where we know that purpose protects the brain from chronic stress. When we connect with meaning and purpose, the brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, creating emotional resilience even under pressure. So coaches who align their business model with their purpose tend to last longer and burn out less. So here's where I want to say that people think about burnout, think about spending too much energy, right? You're burnt out, you're giving it all. But the reality, the more accurate version is that burnout comes from how you want to spend your energy, right? So it's not about not spending energy, it's about how you envision you want to spend your energy and your time. So if you spend all day working, but you find it unfulfilling, or purposeless, or you feel like you're just um, doing something with no real lasting impact versus a day full of work that might have been energy intensive. You were there for your clients, or let's take a volunteer example. What if you volunteer for Habitat for Humanity and you're building houses in a local community? That takes a lot of energy, doesn't it? You're out in the sun, hammering away, sawing things, right? But you will feel well and content in a day that you spent energy that way. So part of also helping coaches work in their field of interest, where they feel the most purpose, we know will reduce burnout. So an example to put it into perspective, um, many coaches have worked in a wide range of areas. Um, I was working for a company one time that did a lot of weight loss. In my private coaching now, I focus exclusively on mental health, different versions of it, but I find much more purpose fulfillment there. And so I'm able to have more sessions on those topics that really I'm naturally passionate about, right? And the studies also show when coaches are working in their areas of authenticity and passion, not only do they burn out less, but they have a better therapeutic alliance, okay, better connection with their clients. And this is the biggest predictor of success and change that we can affect on the provider side, right? So our clients do better. We're seeing that change. That's rewarding for us. Continue on. So all these things, they're all related, right? Us taking care of ourselves improves our client experiences, makes us more reward, more energy to continue on. So in other words, we don't choose what makes us happy. Try to do the most you can to do the things that naturally make you happy. So another thing contributes to feeling of burnout is cognitive overload. Just feeling of emotional depletion. We talk about burnout, feeling numb or feeling chronic stress or not enough energy. So the prefrontal cortex, it's part right here, kind of above our eyes. That's the part that deals with decision making, planning, right? Organizing tasks, planning things out. If you're constantly juggling tasks, this area can get overwhelmed, right? And the prefrontal cortex is where you're kind of reasoning things. The amygdala, kind of further back, is a big part of your limbic system, your emotional centers. And we know there's this like seesaw effect between the limbic system and the frontal cortex, between the emotional centers and the logic centers. Sometimes when the frontal center are depleted, then the amygdala takes over, the emotional center takes over, right? It could lead to more anxiety, impulsive decision making, right? Do you ever have the feeling of having too many tabs open, or um, you have your desk full of too many things, and you're trying to think where to start, you don't know where, and you freeze instead? That fight, flight, or freeze response, right? So this is example of the opposite of last slide. Here we want to minimize those things that take energy, that can make us more depleted, which if when we do give us less resiliency, right? So the more effective or efficient we can be at those things we don't enjoy, the more energy we have to maintain that emotional harmony and balance. Okay. So all that said, please, if any questions or any other ideas or any other perspectives that you feel need to be covered, throw them in the chat. And I want to transition to how Vibely can help address some of these. Like I mentioned, I don't want to say that one lecture is going to cure everything. We wouldn't say it to our clients, right? There's no magic wand, but there is a path forward, right? So we know what caused these things. So when there's a system that's an issue, we can address different parts of the system to make change, just like with our clients. They're facing their well-being systems or kind of or their life is getting in the way, all those gears are grinding, and we can slowly work on different parts of the system to give it more energy and chance uh, to work at its highest peak, right? So Vibely was really designed from the ground up for this reason. It's from We want to create a system that supports providers and their clients' well-beings, because if providers aren't well, how can we really be there for our clients, right? And this pro tier that we're going to show now is really based off of feedback from all those thousands of coaches, right? What were their actual real world cases? The thing that said, oh, this is really driving me crazy. Oh, this is really taking my time, or this is really dragging me down, or this really affects the way I work with my clients or the way I see things. So I've definitely experienced it myself, and but I'm not the only person that went to this feedback. So as we show these things, Viably is all about listening to coaches' feedback, so we can actually give you tools for those real world scenarios. And I want to say, hopefully, these tools will let you work more efficiently, reduce that cognitive overload, meet community so you're not feeling alone, but also can give you time back to do those things that do fulfill us. One thing we didn't talk about as much is that each of us has things that fulfill us, but what it is wildly different. Maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's skydiving, right? Whatever it is, if we can be more efficient in our admin tasks, that gives us more time as well to make those connections. So while we're not going to talk about those things that you do with extra time, that is really important. Please, once you're more efficient, then also take extra time to do those things that fill your cup up, because that's going to be different for you than for your fellow colleague. But the goal is this, you have time for that. So let's look at some of these tools that our coaches have asked us to build and how those can improve some of those factors that we know go into burnout. So one thing that the coaches say is, I feel very overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. From students or even people are practicing, there's so many things to take care of in a practice, and I don't know, I feel so disorganized and managing all these things. So I want to at least maybe simplify three systems they should think about as a provider to help with that workflow and have organize yourself. Vibely was built with these principles. These principles apply to everyone. So this hopefully is learning for everyone, whether you're a student or you've been practicing for a long time. Let's look at these three systems and why they're important and how to view them and how we can address them more efficiently. So the three systems you need, first is a magnet system, right? So this is a way to basically attract people or have them be aware of what you're doing, who you are and what you're doing, right? So you're attracting people to get closer to you, learn more about you. So for Vibly's, we can host workshops and webinars, which we know are great ways to increase awareness of what you're doing, the things you offer, or unique ways to support your clients. A lot of people say, well, how do I start getting those first few clients? Most of coaching is word of mouth. But I'm just starting out. It feels like a chicken or egg. So we have tools specifically on Vibely that help you reach wider audiences who aren't aware what coaching is or who you are even. But if you can give them some information, some value, they can start getting a little closer to you, understanding. So you need to have one way to generate awareness or generate people, drawing them closer to you, that lead magnet system. Once they're kind of close to your orbit, we go to the second part of the system, a service visibility system, right? This is where your personal branding, your coach offering. So you have someone that heard about you. Now they want to know more and see what else you offer. This is where your Vibely profile page and your service pages come into play. So maybe someone went to your live event, a webinar you hosted on what is health coaching, or how health coaching helps busy parents, or health coaching for shift workers, health coaching for X, Y, and Z. They go to your profile, they can see what you offer. You offer one-on-one services, you offer packages, you offer maybe coming soon on-demand courses, right? So they're seeing now You've brought them to your storefront, not looking around. They're seeing what else is in the store, what else can support them, and seeing how this can be effective for them. Maybe having a discovery call and booking that. Right? So once they've gone to your store, now you need a client flow system, right? So you've got the person who's been far away. You've drawn them into your orbit. They've learned more about you. Now they're ready to make that leap to go from window shopping to booking a discovery call, making a purchase, right? You have a system that organizes for yourself, make sure all those things need to be done, but also equally important, provides them a smooth user experience because your client experience starts the moment they meet you, the moment they see your webinar, they see your service pages, they read about you, how easy it is to book or pay you or schedule with you. And really want systems that minimize the number of clicks, minimize the number of steps, because we know this is an important part for us getting more clients. Systems or creating connections, you can think about the energy it takes to go over a distance. From knowing someone to not knowing someone to traverse this distance. And the energy required depends on how long the distance is and how much energy is spent in that distance. So if we can minimize that, having less clicks or easier ways to find people, you're going to make more of those connections too. And that allows the clients to refer to you more easily as well and spread the word for you. So find people know about you, learn more about you, and then finally book and work from that contract sending all the way to that final closing session. Let's take a look at each of these a little and some of how the features we have can address these systems in place. And so all three systems all in a box. And again, as we hear from a lot of coaches, is that it's just nice having it all in one, not having to think about how these things integrate. I will also say from a security standpoint, HIPAA compliance is much more effective being an ecosystem because often transfer of data is not HIPAA compliant. And so not only will we be more efficient, frankly, spending less on multiple services, working all under one tab, but also we're being often more safe with the information that our clients are referring to us. And people say, well, I don't mostly do, I don't do that much health coaching in my work. If someone's telling you how they're feeling, that's their well-being. Telling you they're feeling anxious, depressed, or their A1C level was something, they're talking about well-being. And it's our responsibility to create a space of safety that they can bring anything that's important for them to bring to the conversation. Not that we limit what they can or can't talk about, because then we're going to limit their growth because we're not looking at the whole system. Let's take a look at some of these features or steps. Any questions, again, please throw them in the chat. Okay, so we're going to show you not only, as we mentioned earlier, not just what's currently available, the basic, but also the pro tier that we're launching now, and we'll see how each feature has upgraded availability, upgraded enhancements, as well as some new features from the pro tier, based off all your amazing feedback. So the first part is we have a dashboard, right? That cognitive overload. So dashboards is when you sign onto the platform, it's your week at a glance, right? So shows you details about upcoming appointments, including links to join the HIPAA compliant meet link straight from there, right? If you haven't set up your account yet, I'll walk you through the setup, but it'll give you also little tips to optimize your profile. For example, if you haven't included a video, studies show more conversion with video than just pictures and words. It'll walk you through that step, right? You can also access the QR codes to all your service pages or your links to your service pages, or even HTML code to embed these scheduling links into your websites or other places. Right, so want easy connection, easy way to find you. You don't have to go to a different site to create a QR code. All within the Viley the dashboard there. Also, as we mentioned, a big part of well-being is community. And so Vibely, I say the backbone is a community of coaches who give feedback, who support each other, collaborate, refer. And so the dashboard will also show you upcoming community events, whether hosted by Vibely or by some of the coaches who host their own hours on Vibely, and we want to encourage you to host your own as well. Create your own events, create your own space. Let's support each other as those support others, right? We have a community of amazing people to lean on. So now do workflow, kind of organizing, having your client list all in one place, right? It shows you all your clients. You can see how many sessions each client has used, how far they are on their progress at a glance. You can organize these clients by either active, inactive, or lead, which means they're current clients you're working with, clients you've seen in the past, or potential future clients. So you know how to organize and how to communicate with each of them differently. And also, this same view has quick links to commonly used features. So to schedule, add a note, send a form, send a quick chat message, or go to the client's profile. And so wherever you are, really easy, less clicks to get to the things you want to do. We really thought about the workflow here for the coaches and providers. Because we'll talk about it at the end, because that's where the energy spent. How can we these things be intuitive, be easy to navigate, and adapt to different ways that coaches' brains may process information? Okay, so this is one of the most important parts where coaches maybe um, initially may struggle is creating a service or having an easy way for clients to pay for service or find out what they are. So with Vibely, you can create unlimited number of services. They could be one-on-one sessions, live events or workshops, which are a great way for that lead generation magnet. And we also have group coaching and on-demand coming soon to the pro tier. Services can be public, so people can find out about you, but they can also be private. So you can send custom packages where you do slide and scale pro bono, or you're doing concierge work or something, or a custom solution for a certain organization, right? You can have one site that easily can spin up different service pages to get paid for whatever you envision supporting your clients. Not even wait around to figure out how to create later on or let me send information 3 days later. Create within 5 minutes and get paid right away. Right. So this is one of I think the biggest tools to get off the ground running is having a way that people can see what you're doing. Because that second part, right? They've led to you, and now they're seeing the services available, who you are, what kind of topics you like to work in, and you get multiple niches here. Coaches want to say, "Well, I feel like I get closed off. I'm only have one niche when I have multiple things I want to serve." With Viable, you can have multiple service for each of those different subsets of populations that you want to support that fulfill you and find purpose. So I support healthcare workers, I also support families, and I support coaches. They all three fulfill me, but they're different segments, and I'm able to support all three through one profile and different services. On the pro tier that are coming out, we're going to add on-demand courses. So on-demand courses mean pre-recorded courses where you can now make income offline. So people can buy your course later on. This could also be a lead generation for you. So might buy one of your courses and I really liked how they spoke about this topic. I want to learn more about them, or maybe I can see them helping me or my family out more one-on-one. You can also have this concept of bundling your services. Maybe you give someone access to your courses who's in your top tier package, right? So you can really also mix and match your offerings to meet your clients where they're at. The pro tier will also have group coaching. So now you can work with multiple at one time, which helps both. There's this component that the clients now have a community to grow with. Also, for them, it lowers their cost per session, while for you, the provider, keeping your hourly rate where you want to be. And some coaches really enjoy this group dynamic. Also, new to pro is Vibely meetings, like Calendly on steroids, right? So we've heard from you coaches. So the biggest thing is that being a solopreneur is not just working with clients, it's also meeting other coaches, networking with people to refer to you. Maybe you're consulting different companies, you're teaching, right? So now with Vibely, you can not only run your client facing services, but you can host any meeting type you want. So maybe, for example, I have a podcast. I have a service page or meeting page just for my podcast guests or potential podcast guests to schedule calls with me to see if they're a good fit. I've had when I did PSAs with students, I would do a service page or meeting page for the PSA scheduling. We have partners that we work with at Vibely that we collaborate with, and so have a partnership page so our partners can schedule straight with me from that page. Right? So now you can organize all of your life in one place, each with QR codes. So if you're going to a conference, show someone your phone, your digital business card. And these service pages are much more robust than Calendly is offering, like we mentioned. First of all, Calendly, by the way, coaches, is not HIPAA compliant. Do not use Calendly for health services. But secondly, all it shows is your name and a bunch of dates. Our service pages have your picture, you can put your logo on there, and much more robust information with the purpose of the call, as well as multiple meeting links per each call. So now have all of your services, both client facing and network or collaborative facing, all in one umbrella, reducing cognitive overload, simplifying your calendar system. And we'll talk a little more about this calendar feature on steroid coming up slides. Here we are in the schedule. Okay, so the next tab is schedule. This is where you manage availability and see your offerings. Allows you to join a session, cancel, send a chat, reschedule. And the pro tier, again, kind of going off of last slide, is really where the advanced differences are. So the pro tier will have multiple calendar sync and smart calendar features. So you can sync up to 6 different calendars for the pro tier. Each can have a one-way sync or two-way sync. One-way sync means it reads information. Two is it reads it, but also writes that onto the calendar of the event. So you can choose per calendar, is it a one-way sync or two-way sync? You have advanced settings like buffer times, daily maximums, same-day scheduling, so you can change them called minimum notice. You can be booked on the same day, or maybe you need 2 days notice instead. You can make that as long or short as you like. And one of the most unique features that puts it the calendar on steroids is that you can now, for these service pages and meeting pages, have either general availability that applies to all, or you can have unique different rules that apply to each service page. So people talk about setting boundaries earlier on. Depending on the kind of work you do, different kinds of work you may want different boundaries. So for example, my partnership calls, I find them really stimulating and engaging. And so sometimes I'll have those late in the evening, partners who have different time zones. I don't mind that. I find them engaging. It doesn't drain me in that way. For certain teaching work I do, I prefer to do that more during traditional business hours. You know, so now you can have, depending on what meeting page, different rules. So maybe your discovery calls, for example, you're open most days of the week, maybe even Saturdays a few hours open for discovery call. But your client follow-ups are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, for example. Maybe Friday is dedicated to your project work for your consulting, right? So now you can be as open or as closed as you need to per service page. No longer have just one availability. You can mix and match how you're going to organize your time and the kind of work that you do. Again, really important for burnout, having autonomy over your time and while still maintaining accessibility to you as a provider who's trying to grow their practice. Okay. Your profile. So a lot of coaches don't get started if they're overwhelmed by not having a web presence. So your profile is easy to set up. There's no code. You can get started in a little bit an hour. And if you do have a website, send us your website and LinkedIn and we'll create it free for you. So this takes the guesswork out of figuring out what clients want to know, because we ask clients, what do you want to know when you're searching for a provider? So just fill in. These are easy to fill in block by block that lets your clients know what they want to know when they're looking to start working with you. So very easy to edit this, and it can evolve with you as your practice changes or you have new areas of focus or things you want to explore. This profile will change with you. Really importantly, there's also built-in call to action. Book now, ask a question, and QR codes available for this. Right, so really easy for your clients who see it to engage with it. Your profile picture is always following them. The calls to action are always available no matter where they're scrolling on that page. And Vibely works on the search engine optimization for your profile page so that your name in Vibely, your name in Coach, and your name and services can pop up. So now you're going to have increased exposure from the Vibely brand in terms of your search engine optimization. Chat. So HIPAA compliant chat, really important to protect everyone's data. Also from providers, setting boundaries. This is really helpful. It says I can provide support for clients now between sessions without giving out my phone number. Keep all your communication in one place, not have it scattered across multiple platforms. And also, I'll be honest with you, for me, it's been a nice way to set boundaries. My clients know I do 24-hour turnaround time, like one business day. When I sign on, do I work there? When I sign off, I'm done. I didn't realize this till a few months into using Vibely, but my phone is great now because my text my friends and family asking to hang out, not a client asking to reschedule for a form, right? So really separate your work-life boundaries and your digital communication. Really important for our well-being and how we set autonomy of our time. Okay, so now we have also forms as well, right? So as part of our practice, we have to might send clients forms into its questionnaires. So Vibe allows you to just upload and store your forms there in one place. Every new client, you can easily send them. These forms can be organized in systems of folders that we call collections, and the same form can live in multiple folders. And you can easily keep track of when they've been opened, filled, or sent back. And for the pro tier, we have the ability to create forms on Vibely. So instead of uploading forms, a client downloading, filling it out, and sending it back, you can create your own forms very easily with free form, long answer, multiple choice, fill in the blank, matrix, scaling questions, etc. And the clients can fill out straight on Vibe as well. So better client experience, less clicks for them, organize all that information all in one place. Whether these forms are before discovery call, afterwards, or throughout your work together, or feedback forms you create once you're done, easily create them. And we're gonna have this ability to have templates that Vibe will provide, and the community can share and create their own templates too. So if you want to share a template you create it with your friend or colleague, you'll be able to do that as well in the future on Vibely. So we can all learn from each other and grow from each other. Okay, being quick here. So resources, right? So here you can organize and store all your resources in one place. So both the ones that you find, so find an online link, webinars, articles, podcasts, videos, PubMed articles, right? Put a link in there and we auto import the details, description, what it's about. So it's all stored in one location. And again, your resources have folders also. So you can have resources for healthy eating, for sleep, different categories, and resources can be tagged in multiple locations as well. So you can store all that one information that you found in one place. We can also store the stuff that you've created. Where you create documents, PDF, audio, visual, web files. You can upload those resources to Viably as well. So now you can have the ones you've found and created all stored in one place to easily send with your clients and see when they've opened it, when they've received those resources. In the pro tier, this is going to be a Vibely curated and continue updated resource knowledge hub. And people from the community can also add to this resource knowledge hub. So you can easily find information for support for your clients right after session. Don't have to leave Vibely, you can find it all in one place and easily send it to your clients as soon as you find it. Agreements, this is contracts, right? So in the basic, you can upload your agreements to Vibely and then send it to your clients or prospects. You'll see when they've opened or signed it back. Um, in the pro tier, we'll have e-sign. So the clients don't have to download the contract and fill it out and re-upload it. They can sign and fill out the contract or form straight on the platform. Again, less clicks, easier for them, smoother experience. And now you can stop paying for DocuSign, have it all in one place. So talk about different also workflows here. So I mentioned this earlier, the different brains work differently. Right? That's kind of a tenet of neuroscience. And we've looked at workflows that coaches tend to use. There's two main ones, and we really tried to adapt both into the platform. You can have function-centric view where you go to the function and you see all the clients there. So, for example, maybe you create a new form, your coaching feedback form, and you want to send to all your clients. So you create a form, go to the forms tab, create, and then send. You'll see all your clients list. You can send to all of them or a few of them, add a little note, and be done. That's a function centric where you go to the function and then you see all the clients that you can um, work with in that function. The other way you can view working with this interface is a client centric view, in which you click on a client's name, like in this case, Karen. And now all the functions, scheduling, notes, resources, forms, agreements, chat, are all under Karen's view. Right. So however your brain works, we take care of both different workflows, and there's also shortcuts throughout the platform to easily navigate wherever you need to. A little chat button, when you see that, the chat will open up, for example. Okay. Client notes. So this is also very unique, and a lot of feedback of the people, our coaches and clients really love this. So we have a very unique note-taking system. There's private, shareable, and client notes. Private is just for you, the provider. The client will never see this. So you can write whatever notes you need to remind yourself of things or things you want to share with your client, but you still have it in your documentation. Shareable notes are things you share with your clients where you can send the SMART goals, your action steps, any barriers, any quotes you want to include from them. But your clients also have their own note-taking section that they can reflect or write on the tracking or their goals, all on their journey. So this allows for super easy engagement and flexibility between sessions, which studies show more engagement, more change, more results, more referrals to you. Right. A little AI teaser. We're gonna have AI automated take notes for you in session. So both take your private notes and your client notes, and you can teach it different templates, different ways that you want to have your notes structured. And the AI can also then recommend resources from resource library based off the notes that you and the client share with each other, things that can support you on your journey. And this is maybe last but not least, like I said, community. Right? Community is where health lives, right? So you can join a community of certified and credentialed coaches and students who are all passionate about making a difference. You network, collaborate, exchange ideas, find referrals, and also Vibe live events and continuing education credits are going to be hosted for continual personal support and professional development. So Vibely is creating a lot more C credits now, and we have a free one currently on how to use Vibely, and also live events that we create, but also amazing coaches host mentorship hours, meditation hours, support. So join the community, get ideas. I've seen coaches do accountability for finishing their profile. Hey, if you can you look at my about me, I'll look at your approach and philosophy, right? So here's the thing I've learned. I mentioned earlier, coaches tend to help others more than ourselves. Go to the community, help your friend out, they'll help you out. So whether it's by the community, the virtual one, and those in person, community is super important. Buy your time back to connect more with people to increase your resiliency, that neuroprotective factor. Okay. So lastly, Vibely is not just for you, but for your clients too. So Vibely is created for coaches and clients by coaches and clients. And Vibely means vibrant plus lively, right? So as a provider, you have a single sign-on that you can access not only your side of the account, but the client side of the account. See exactly what their profile looks like or what their environment looks like. No test account required, right? So your clients have their own hub where they can see your schedule, fill forms, look at resources, e-sign, chat, etc., view their notes. It's pretty much a mirrored image of your platform. So very easy to see what they see and help them navigate should they need support. We've thought about both people because coaching is about a partnership, not the coach or the client, but this partnership. Okay, so payment and invoicing, really important, right? End of the day, you have to figure out make it sustainable. So a few things I've learned. Stripe by default is not HIPAA compliant, but we have made through the work we've done, billing through Stripe HIPAA compliant. We went with that because Stripe is the most commonly used credit card processing. Um, and we so easy to sign up your bank account information. I have multiple ways of paying. In our Pro tier, we'll have um, invoicing for past services, bank payments. You can have sponsored or subsidized invoicing. So the clients is different who's paying the service. Maybe the parent is paying or employer is paying, but someone else is receiving the service, all while HIPAA compliant invoicing. Also, custom invoicing for any work, consulting, teaching, anything outside of your coaching services, all in one place. And no wrong with time here, so I want to quickly turn over to Sonia, one of our coaches who uses our platform, one of our power users, and kind of give her a little chance to explain how some of these tools have helped her manage her burnout and grow her practice. So Sonia, thanks for being so patient there in the background. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then if you need me, I'll hit next on the slides.
Nope,
No, I
there we go.
don't.
How about
There
now?
we go.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Sonia. I'm a board certified health coach, a financial social work coach, a learning and development professional, and a coach, trainer, and educator. And Diego asked me to pop on here and just spend a couple minutes kind of chatting about how Vibely has helped change my private practice. So, do you want me to just go for it, Diego, or do you want to ask
Go
me
for
some
it. Yeah.
questions? Okay.
You go for it. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I've been a coach in private practice for 13 years on the side of my corporate career, and I went full time in 2024. And I did not go full time because I had like built up a thriving private practice. I went full time because a contract that I had ended, and I decided it was just time to see if I could make my side hustle into a full time job. And about 9 months into working full time, I was like, this is not going to work. There's no way that I can scale. This is really challenging. I have clients, but like I'm straight struggling to keep track of all the details and all the systems and everything. And Diego reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I seriously was like, there's no way this is real. I was like, this is way too good to be true. And there's no way that this platform does all the things that it says it does. But I gave it a try and got on for a 30-day free trial and was just like blown away by everything that the platform had to offer. And I think what Vibely has really allowed me to do is scale my practice. So I had a handful of clients. I wanted to see more clients. I couldn't figure out how to see more clients with the tech stack that I had. And so getting onto Vibely has enabled me to really kind of like up the ante on my marketing services, get the word out, and has made me feel confident about taking on more clients because I know that my tech can handle it now.
Mm. So yeah, it means the world to hear. It sounds like kind of what we do for our clients, right? We try to give them tools so they can do it for themselves. That's kind of the
Hmm.
analogous of Bible. Bible's trying to give you tools so you can do your own vision of what you envision your practice to be. Because each coach taught you a different version of that, and so use the
Yeah,
tools that you need to create your own vision.
absolutely.
Great, thank you so much, Sonia. And oh, I think it went. Okay, so Sonia, I appreciate I'll let you down the line here if anything you want to add on quickly. I know we're almost at time. Sorry for a little late delay,
All
but we
good.
want to also talk about this Biley Pro tier for life, right? So, actually, something we've done before in the basic tier, but we're doing that for the Pro tier. So, we're really excited for this launch. We've already launched our first Pro tier feature last week, our custom forms, and what we're going to do is basically launch next each week or each 2 weeks a new feature until the rollout. All right. We are offering our special promotion for Pro Tier for life for those who sign up before May 31st. So normally Pro Tier is about 59 per month. If you do the annual subscription, it's 50 per month, so $600 per month. But if you sign up before May 31st, you can lock in a lifetime guarantee of 495 per year for life for Pro Tier for everything we discussed. So this comes out to about, so instead of paying $708 per year, you can lock in a for life rate of 495. Comes out to about $1.35 a day, 41 50 cents a day. And there's no price increase ever. You'll be locked in forever as a founder's rate. But you do have to sign up for the annual subscription before May 31st. This deal will go away after May 31st. A few in the audience may have remember something similar to the basic tier. January 1st is our pro tier offering. As also an extra bonus, so we had this amazing chief marketing officer, Miriam, who, because of coaches' requests, has started offering more marketing services. And if you haven't checked out, please check our podcast on our site from her being our first guest on marketing. And this Thursday, we're going to another podcast on marketing. So as an extra bonus, to attend subscribe to the Valley Pro Tier by the end of day today, Monday, will win a free website audit from Vibely's Chief Marketing Officer and co-founder, Miriam. The winners will be announced by email on Wednesday. I will say to everyone here, I'm also a coach. I use Vibely, and I've had other marketers before. Miriam, what Miriam is doing is above and beyond what I've seen anyone doing. And I think maybe Sonia, if you don't mind, I think Sonia's been, if you could speak to some of this stuff, what kind of the high level that Miriam is doing. I think I want to brag about her for a little bit because it is way more than I've seen other marketing sources. So you want to give your perspective as actual user from this or getting that benefit?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Miriam has blown me away with the things she's provided to me and my business. Goes way beyond what I've seen other marketing professionals offering to coaches, and really kind of, I mean, when we say she's a CMO, it's like she's a CMO in my business as well as being the CMO for Vibely. It's been insanely helpful to have her perspective and her eyes on things, and really is kind of like a deeper dive. I would say it's kind of an advanced marketing service.
Advance, exactly.
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you, I've talked with many of them, and I feel the same thing. Miriam is next level. She is next level, and it's her expertise in the field, and also combined with her passion.
Hmm.
So kind of as coaches helped her out tremendously, and so she said, "I want to help coaches out the way they've helped me out before." Right, and so it's that when you combine authenticity and passion, best therapeutic alliance. So Sonia, thank you for sharing that. I know I'm biased,
Okay.
but I've been blown away. I've never seen a marketer do like half of what Miriam is doing. So it's a great tremendous value. And so we're really lucky to have her on the team and the support for our coaches so they have guidance they need. So if you want to reach out to us, you can watch the weekly live demo. It's on our website, bobby.io. If you look for, you'll see a pop-up come up or under resources, there's live demo. You can book a call with us to have a chat one-on-one if you need to, or also email us at support@bobby.io. If you want us to time today, you can go to vibely.io and then any of the calls to action, book a free call. Will take you to our service page where you can sign up for the pro tier for life before May 31st. If there were any questions here, and I've got maybe a minute over it, a little late start, I'll be looking in the chat here. But in the meantime, I'll also open up the website so people can know how to access that. And if you are already on Vibely, you're a coach on Vibely, and want to upgrade to this pro tier for life, we have an FAQ article on how to upgrade your account in the community forum. So click on the help button, top of the platform, and go to FAQs. Basically, in summary, under your platform, under the settings, you'll see where you can upgrade your account. And we have a video on how to do this as well. I'll stick around online to see any questions in the chat and just briefly show those two sites. If there are any questions, please feel free to bring them on. And even if they're not, if you want to talk offline about burnout, any way I can support you, please let us know any feedback you have. I'm just going to quickly open those two. I'm going to open up a new browser to show you the site and where to sign up. Okay. So here's Vibely.io. You see live demo will pop up. Any of these get started buttons, get started as a coach, will take you um, to our page, and here you can schedule for the pro tier for life, get a book a meeting. And then if you look under resources, under podcasts, I definitely recommend watching the podcast with Miriam, Marketing for Health Coaches. And we're going to have an episode again this Thursday coming up. Stop sharing my screen or close this off. Thank you, everyone who joined today. And again, we're open arms, welcome to the community. We want to hear from your experience. Each coach is different. We treat coaches the way coaches treat their clients. Let us know how to make your life better, because we want to see a world where coaches are thriving, not being burnt out, and providing the best care for their clients so they can thrive and be members of their community. Thank you, this community, and hope you have a great start to the week. Take care.